How's it going, everyone? Today I'm going to show you what it's like to drive the Mercedes-Maybach S600. Before we go into the driver's seat, let's go ahead and hop into the back, because honestly, that's where the majority of people who buy this car will be spending their time. Hop into the back here. You've got reclining seats, a ridiculous amount of head and legroom. Part of the reason you have so much legroom is because this is 8 inches longer than the normal already long wheelbase S-Class, and the 8 inches were put all into the back. You've got dual entertainment screens here that can be linked to each other to watch the same thing, or independent if you want to watch something else. Hand-stitched door panels. I love the way this sound system looks up here. This is the most comfortable place to be on the road. Well, enough of that. This video is about what it's like to drive, so let's hop in the driver's seat and see what it's all about. The Maybach key is actually the exact same as pretty much every Mercedes, which is interesting that you get a C-Class with the same key as a Maybach. Start-stop button. Beautiful engine note when it starts up. A little cubby here. From a visual standpoint, the Maybach looks no different than a well-spec'd S550 in the driver's seat. You've got an IWC clock that's in the AMG models. Of course, you've got the Maybach logo here, but other than that, it's not all that much different. You can, of course, get the high-end audio system in the S550 if you want to pay $6,500 for it, but it is standard here. The steering wheel is the same as well. You've got paddle shifters, which is interesting on a car of this type. I don't think anybody will be using it. The response time isn't all that great, but let's get rolling. Off the bat, the first thing you notice is how much smoother the car is when you initially start from a standstill and acceleration compared to the twin-turbo V8. It is much smoother. That's part of the reason why they put a V12 in this vehicle. The V12 is not just a status symbol, it is also very functional as well. The engine is very quiet when you're not giving it a lot of gas, but then it intrudes into the cabin when you accelerate, which I very much appreciate. You've got 2 driving modes for the suspension. You've got Sport and Comfort. In Comfort mode, the steering weight feels identical to a normal S-Class. In Sport mode, it tightens up a little bit, makes the car feel heavier, and the suspension firms up as well. I imagine most people will be driving it in Comfort mode, so that's what we're going to leave it in, and it soaks up bumps incredibly well. This is insanely isolated from the road. Mercedes says it is the quietest cabin of any vehicle, and I believe it. Very, very minimal road noise. You really only hear anything when a big truck passes in the other direction. This car is so relaxing to drive. Speaking of which, let's activate the massage by clicking the button here. You've got various massage settings. Let's do activating massage. That sounds great. The infotainment is the exact same as all of the S-Class models. The vehicle actually doesn't feel all that big when you're driving it. I mean, it does not feel like a small, nimble car by any means, but it also doesn't feel like you're driving a bus, which is about what it looks like on the outside. Mercedes did a great job of making the turning radius very good on all S-Class models, and that makes this car a lot easier to drive than it would be normally. Obviously, parking is going to be an issue. There's lots of these in New York City, and I imagine the chauffeurs who are driving them around probably have a difficult time parking, but of course the car can park itself in parallel parking spots if need be. You've got a heads-up display that can be toggled on the left here. Not sure if you can see that. You've also got night vision, which hopefully you can see. So you can see pedestrians and detect animals in the road at nighttime. It works very, very well. Let's turn that off. Let's give it some gas. Oh, so much torque. The brakes work well also. You've got a bi-turbo 6-liter V12 making 523 horsepower and 612 pound-feet of torque. That is a ton, and even though this vehicle weighs a ridiculous amount, it still thrusts you forward very, very quickly. Visibility-wise, it is the same as a normal S-Class. The hood doesn't seem any longer. The space in the front cabin is very, very similar. It's not intimidating to drive in the slightest. I'm actually surprised. I thought it was going to be scarier driving this large and this expensive of a vehicle, but it really isn't. You've got controls on the side here. You can actually control the passenger seat. in case somebody gets in the back of your car and you want to move the passenger seat out of the way. When you open the rear doors, the front seats actually move forward so that your passengers can get in the back. This is all oriented towards the rear seat experience. Of course, it's very luxurious in the front, but that's not really what the Maybach is all about. The 1540 watt speaker system in this car is the best audio system I have ever heard, and it comes with rotating illuminating tweeters. That is a beautiful touch. Let's put it in sport mode, put the transmission in sport mode as well. With the air ride, the car corners very, very flat. There's actually virtually zero body roll, and for this big of a vehicle, I'm stunned at how quick it changes directions. The steering is very direct now. It's a lot tighter than it was during comfort mode, and it actually feels like it wants to go around turns. The paddles aren't very responsive, but that's to be expected. But when that boost kicks in, whew, this is a quick car. The S-Class in general is actually a really fun to drive vehicle. That might be surprising as it's so large and luxury focused, but with the steering and the air ride suspension setup, they did a fantastic job of making it fun. If you're looking for something that gives you driving pleasure and not just an incredible rear seat experience, this is going to be a lot more fun than driving something like a Rolls-Royce Ghost. In order to get a more pleasurable driving experience, you've got to go into something like a Wraith, and obviously that is not comparable whatsoever in terms of its interior amenities and space to a Maybach. They priced the Maybach very aggressively, $190,000 with an interior that can compete with cars that are $500,000 is pretty awesome. There is a case for the S-Class, however, when you can option it up to look basically identical to this in the inside. I can see why people would do that instead. But for those who are willing to offer up a bit of extra coin to get the Maybach, they will be rewarded with one of the most incredible driving and riding experiences of any luxury car ever made. Let's take this turn hard here, hard right turn. No body roll because of that air ride. Oh. Taking turns quickly in a 214.5 foot long, taking turns quickly in a 214.5 inch long Mercedes-Maybach. That is not something that you expected to be good, but it was. Let's floor it from a standstill here to experience the 0 to 60 in about 5 seconds. Initial launch was great, no wheel spin. Wow. Definitely when you get up to speed, it feels like it pulls quite a bit harder than the S550 does. Despite having similar quarter mile times, I imagine when this gets rolling, it doesn't want to stop. Wow, that power is addicting. Let's mess around with the interior controls a bit more in the back, shall we? So we've got recline, we can move forward, and as we move the seat forward, I'm actually reclining as well. The amount of legroom is just incredible. We've got heated and cooled seats here. We've even got memory seats for the rear. That's incredible. Now here you can control the sunroof. You can control the rear sunshade back there. You can control the left shade as well as the right shade. Let's put up this center console here. Hop on over to the other side because there are some more controls here that are unique. Clicking this button probably pushes the seat forward. Let's see. And it should recline me even further. Oh, wow. I mean, look at that. I've got my legs fully extended and I can't even come close to touching the seat. Look at that. It's extending even more. This is like full laying down position. Oh, I've got an extended footrest there if I can reach, if I was 7 feet tall. That is the ultimate expression of luxury. Oh my gosh. You've got access to the climate control in the rear. You've got 4-zone climate control. You've got a plug here as well as a cigarette lighter. These are used for the air conditioning. When you push it in, it just gets it out of the way. Turn it counterclockwise and it actually shuts off the air. Turn it clockwise again and you get more air again. Well, there you have it. It's incredibly comfortable to drive when in comfort mode. It's got one of the most serene experiences in the interior while on the road. You've got ambient lighting options, massage options. You've even got a perfume vaporizer that makes sure it doesn't contaminate the interior. But you've also got something that is really fun to drive for its size. And with that, I think the Maybach is a brilliant vehicle. Special thanks to Grand Blank Motorcars in Grand Blank, Michigan for providing this epic Maybach with us. It's for sale now for just a bit over $190,000. Make sure to check it out. I hope you enjoyed this review. Like always, please browse our channel and subscribe. I look forward to seeing you next video.